Hello everybody, welcome back to the Turfcast podcast pre-game show with me, Joe Reben. Now, it's another quick turnaround for a game. It's just been non-stop, hasn't it? It's been Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday. It's non-stop, especially when you're doing a podcast for it, a pre-game show, and then a full-time show again. But I'm here again because I like doing it. And this week, we're going to have somebody that's recently been on the show because, of course, this game was called off. So we've got Jack from Leicester City Fan TV coming up with an interview about all things Leicester City in just a few minutes. But obviously first, just want to go through some things as well, like we normally do. It's good to see us change, isn't it? Like we've changed so much over these last few weeks. Like I said, I've been given some stick in some of the comments about being like negative because I'll admit I've said it a few times. I thought we were dead and buried after that Leeds game, especially Newcastle game. I was concerned. Leeds game, I was like, I just can't say we're getting out of this. But we just look so different now to what we did from then. And obviously Dice has come out since then and he said that we had a meeting essentially. He's had another one of his meetings and it's worked every single time and it's worked again. I think this is the third one. They had one after that Boxing Day defeat against Everton at home several years ago now, and I think they had one last season as well, or the season before. I can't remember exactly when it was, but it's the third time they've had to do it now. So should just really have one of these meetings at the start of the season, shouldn't it, to be fair? But yeah, we look different now. We look like Burnley again, don't we? We look organised. We look up for the fight. You know, we look ready. I don't think we looked like that before. Now I'm going into this game thinking we can win it. Leicester have been poor this season, let's be honest. Yeah, they're above us in the league, but not by a lot now. They're only 2 points above Newcastle. And this win will be massive if we do get this win. This game, it's going under the radar a little bit because they're not really down there with us as such, like your Brentfords and your Leeds and your Newcastle. So it's going under the radar a little bit. But let's just look, if we win this, we're out of the relegation zone. If we win this, we will go above Everton and we will go above Leeds and we will go above Brentford as well on goal difference. I don't think any of them are playing this midweek. If they are, then obviously it depends on their results. But if we win this game, we're out of the relegation zone and potentially as high as 15, just think of the boost that will give the place, the fans, the players, the gaffer. This game is massive, and I honestly believe we're going to go into this with his chest puffed out, as confidence high, and I think we're going to win it. And I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win this game. So you know what that means? We're going to get beat. It's the first time I've sat here and said on the show for quite a while, a few months now, that I'm confident going into a game. I think we're going to win. But that's what a few results can do. I'll be the first person to admit, like I said, I'm pretty fickle when it comes to that. If results aren't going our way, it's not so much the results either. The performances weren't there, were they, earlier in the season? We just didn't look like Burnley. We were just poor at the back. We weren't second. You weren't first to all the second balls like we normally are and things like that. And we just didn't look like Burnley. But we look like Burnley. But like I said, it's Leicester up next. And I've already introduced him, but I'll do it again. I've been giving us all the lowdown on this week's opponents, Leicester City. This is Jack from Leicester City Fan TV. And just like that, joining us now from Leicester City Fan TV is Jack. Now, you may remember him before because he came on the show before, but of course the game got cancelled. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. I was thinking of just putting the same show back out again and seeing if people notice. But then, Burnley's form has been a bit better then, so I probably sound a lot more miserable on that one. But let's get straight into it then, mate. Leicester City. I know I said the exact same thing on the show last time, but since then your form seems to have got even worse. Your season's been a bit indifferent, and I was just expecting you to kick on eventually, but you just haven't done. What's going on at Leicester this season?
I mean, where do we start? I mean, we are a team this season who seems to sit behind the ball and allow teams to come. Since I last spoke to you, we've lost to Championship side Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup and gone absolute battering at City Ground. We've not really been winning at all, really. It's not been the greatest of times at Leicester City at this minute in time. We seem to be too defensive. We seem to allow these teams to press us, come at us and let them play and not take the fight to these teams. And I feel that's where we've been lacking. We seem to let more goals in our goal than we do in theirs. So it's worrying. We've played Wolves where I think we had Wolves on the ropes at times where we could have gone and won the game, but then we allow Wolves that space around the box. We beat Randers since, which really you should be beating teams like that in them sort of competitions. we've we've drew with West Ham. Sorry, so we conceded late on. We just don't seem to know where a winning formula is going to come from at this minute in time, and it's very difficult. Obviously, you guys have now picked up form, haven't you, since last time we spoke?
Yeah.
I believe you picked up 7 points out of the last 3 games. Is that correct?
Yeah, obviously we've beaten Brighton down at Brighton, then we beat Spurs at home and picked up a point last time out against Palace. And then it's in the last 6 games, we got an extra 2 points there as well. We were drawn at home to Man United and away Arsenal. Is that in the last 6? I think it is. But we only lost to Liverpool. In fact, no, Watford, Watford, not Arsenal. It was Arsenal just before that one. So yeah, we have picked up form. But you are right there. You said you're conceding more goals than you're scoring, and
yes,
I didn't realise that. I'm just looking now as you said that. That's why you might have heard me typing away. You've conceded 43 goals this season. That's 13 more than Burnley. You've conceded 13 more goals than Burnley, and we're obviously supposed to be one of the worst sides in the league. The league table suggests that we're 18, so technically the 3rd worst team in the league over the course of the season. So what is it? Is it a combination of both things, or is it as the defence looked a lot worse this season, or is it your forwards looking a lot worse?
I think fans of football clubs just look at where you are in the table. They don't look at them sort of things, how many goals you've let in, how many goals you've scored. It's always been where you are. You wouldn't think that Leicester have conceded more goals than Burnley, considering Burnley are in the relegation zone. It's worrying to see us defensively this season. We're shocking. We couldn't keep a clean sheet even if we tried. I believe our last clean sheet was against Liverpool at home.
Well, that's a good team to keep a clean sheet against.
So look at Leeds' form. They've conceded 50 odd goals, I believe.
60 on now.
It's worrying. We leak goals game after game. We could be winning a game and then just throw it away. People look at Leicester's performances over the last 3 games against West Ham, Wolves, Randers, and say, you know what, we played well. It's good performances, but then you should be beating Randers. You should be getting through to them knockout competitions. The West Ham game, there are always going to be odd games, aren't there, Wolves and West Ham? Yes, we played well, but we ain't got no points to show for it. You can play well in games, but you've got to win the games. It's not about, we played well and we lost. You've got to think of it as in football is a points game basis. It's not about if you played well, you've got to get the points to show for it. And obviously Leicester haven't. So it's frustrating to watch this season. A lot of people have been calling for Brendan Rodgers' head. But have we really got the money to go and sack him?
That was my next question. Where do you stand on that? Because I am slightly surprised to see them shelves, looking at what you've done and how much you've progressed over the last few years. Admittedly, yes, this year you have gone backwards. But 13th, not in any danger of going down, doing okay in Europe in a lower rate competition than what you were originally in. Are you disappointed to see fans calling for his head, or are you one of the fans calling for his head?
I think every fan has their own opinion. Football is based on opinions. You either want him in, you either want him out, or you're 50-50 at the end of the day, or you're not sure. It's them sort of criteria you look at, but I believe that form hasn't been great. Brendan is basically the 4th best paid manager in the league. Things haven't gone the way this season with injuries to key players and that. We haven't really had a stable defence to play. We've been playing different players in different areas, and I don't think it's worked for us. Brendan, he can be a good manager. He's proved it. Obviously, when Claude Puel got the sack, we was 13th in the Premier League when Brendan took over that time. And then 3 years on, we've done the full circle, and Brendan Rodgers is now 13th in the Premier League. People are talking about Leicester being in a relegation scrap now.
Not for me.
I feel that if we do lose to Burnley, then it's going to be very concerning. We've got Leeds coming up as well. 2 games where we really need to start taking points and kicking on. So for me, I ain't Brendan Rodgers out. I'm willing to back him, and hopefully he can change our fortunes around.
I want to touch on something you've just said there then. How do you feel in terms of Leicester go? Because I would cut off. I don't think Newcastle are in any danger of going down. Surprisingly, Newcastle are only 2 points below you. So that I understand why fans will suddenly start thinking, oh shit. But I just see Newcastle, they've had this cheat code of the money. They've now got some really big momentum behind them. You know, they were never, as soon as that takeover happened, I never thought they were going to go down. And to be honest, as much as it pains me to say, they did okay in the transfer market. Trippier's a great buy. Dan Burns, probably just as good, if not better, because they were so bad at the back. Guimaraes, he's class. Chris Wood, terrible. But all the rest of them, you know, they've done really well. But for me, I can't see Leicester in any danger of going down. I think you'll probably finish around 13th, 14th and won't be in the conversation, to be honest. How do you feel about relegation in Leicester? Surely that's a bit much.
It is. I can see where fans are coming from now. Many weeks ago, we was ahead of Burnley, so many points ahead of Newcastle, teams like that. I mean, you can see these teams have been picking up points now, haven't they? The Watfords, the Burnleys. You could say Norwich, Newcastle. Them sort of teams have now been starting to pick up points. I mean, Leeds haven't, Brentford haven't. They're on a bad run of form, both of them teams. Bielsa's just left Leeds. For me, I don't think we'll go down. But then, in football terms, you're never too good to go down. I know people say it, that you're too good to not go down, but at the end of the day, anyone could go down. It depends how they perform that season and how well they're doing or how bad they're doing. If you're doing really bad, then you could get them sort of questions. But I can see why Leicester fans are very concerned. I guess it's the form more than anything, and we've allowed teams to come and catch us up. But we've still got plenty more games in hand, where if we win them games, then we're well out of it, aren't we, to be honest? And I think we'd finish top 10.
That's what people have been saying to me as a Burnley fan for like the last 8 weeks. Like, oh, you've got games in hand, you'll be fine. So I was shocked this morning when I found out that you have actually played less games than Burnley. We've played 24 now. You've played 23. Of course, you didn't play midweek, did you? At the weekend, because you were supposed to be playing, was it Liverpool or
Chelsea?
Chelsea, yeah. Obviously, the two teams involved in the Carabao Cup final. That's why you didn't play. But yeah, again, you've got games in hand. Brentford are in free fall. Leeds are in free fall. You'll be fine. I genuinely believe you'll be fine. And Norwich and Watford, I don't think are going to win enough games to get themselves out of it. We might do. I've only just started thinking like that recently. Last time you was on the show, I was probably a little bit more down than what I am now. But I do want to talk to you about sort of like Burnley's changing fortune. I don't know how much you've seen of us since then. But of course, we played Newcastle at the start of the year. We were dreadful, give them their first win of the season. Or was it towards the end of last year? I think it was towards the end of last year. Given the first win of the season, we were dreadful. Then we played Leeds away again, dreadful. A team that had, we've all seen how bad Leeds are recently, and we just didn't really create anything. We scored one goal from a free kick, didn't create enough in open play. We just look lethargic and slow. But since Weghorst has come in, we look a completely different side. He's improved the midfield, even though he's a striker, because, again, people who listen to the podcast will get fed up with me saying this, going to say this every week, because he drops deep and he picks the ball up in the middle of the field. And it allows the midfielders to advance, which is something they've not been able to do for a while, because we just used to kick it up to Chris Wood and hope that he'd hold it up, or a defender would, kick it out for a throw-in or whatever, and advance 30, 40 yards up the pitch. So we've completely changed the way we play. Does Burnley's recent form worry you slightly then going into this game? Because obviously we've got the momentum behind us at the minute. So I'm looking at this Leicester game and I am now thinking Leicester winnable at home, whereas I probably wouldn't have said that 6 weeks ago.
It is worrying. Watching Burnley over the last few weeks, it's very concerning coming into the Leicester game. It makes the Leicester game, as a Leicester fan, very worrying to think, are we even going to pick up points? Burnley, since Weghorst has came in, he's produced the goods. I thought his first goal was going to come against Leicester, which I'm glad it hasn't.
Hopefully his second does well, mate.
I mean, Sean Dyche's turned it around. He's realised they're in a relegation battle, and the only way you're going to get out of a relegation battle is winning games and picking up points against teams that you should be beating. You've obviously picked up the bonus points against Spurs, Manchester United, which can help in any relegation battle.
Yeah, of course.
You've changed your fortunes massively. Players seem to be confident now in the way they approach games now. It's not, oh, this team and that team's coming up, oh, we're going to get battered. It's not going to be one of them where they're seeing Burnley get battered everywhere they go. You're not like Spurs. But I mean, I think Weghorst, he's a presence, isn't he? He's a big man.
Yeah.
He's a target man and loves to score goals. He proved it in the Bundesliga with, is it Wolfsburg, is it you got him from?
Yeah.
Yes. So I guess Cornet, is Cornet injured this game?
You know what? They've been doing a press conference pretty much as I've been speaking to you, so I've been trying to keep my eyes on it. He, after the game against Palace at the weekend, Dyche did say that he had injury issues. He was on the bench for that game after going off against Brighton. Just having a quick look now on the Twitter for the thing. I can't see anything immediately, so chances are he will probably still be injured. But like I said, he was on the bench against Palace. He just didn't come off the bench, so hopefully we'll have an update on that later on. But yeah, I think he is injured.
Hopefully he's not fit to face Leicester. I mean, he's a very good player, Cornet. I've seen it at King Power this season how lethal he can be. He's technical, he's skillful, He's got the pace, he knows where the goal is, and he scored a perfectly good goal against Leicester. He caused our defence so many problems, but then every team's done that this season.
Yeah. Well, just to sort of like bring you back down to earth, mate. The tweet right in front of me says Maxwell is fitter again and is back. And he goes on to say Vidra is back on the grass, but Johan is longer term. So Johan will be missing, but Johan's always missing. But yeah, Maxwell will be back. But having said that, mate, just to, for your point of view, something that you can cling on to, he has been a bit quiet recently. He's been a bit quieter since Weghorst has come in. Not really sure if it is a fitness level thing or if it's because he's come back from AFCON. He had a bit of a niggle. I'm not sure, but he has been pretty quiet recently. And you know what? Obviously, at the start of the season, he was superb. He really was. Like you just said, you mentioned the game against Leicester. I think that's where he got his first goal, and it's the first time where Burnley fans actually sat up like, hold on, this lad is class. He played really well against Palace here. Having said that, he was actually quite quiet against Palace, but then scored a really good goal. He was decent against Leeds. So he has got it in his locker. I am interested to see what we look like when Weghorst and Maxwell are both playing well. Fingers crossed that's tomorrow. Obviously, you'll disagree with that, but do you think he can cause you problems again then, Maxwell, even if he has been quiet recently?
I'll tell you what, every quiet player who hasn't scored for a long time or anything like that seems to score against Leicester. It's always Leicester's, these records seem to get broken after a very long time. I think we're Leicester fans looking at the Burnley game. You guys are going to be very aggressive. You're going to take the fight. I mean, we haven't got the best of records at Turf Moor. Leicester City haven't. I believe we won 7 years ago when Vardy scored. We've won when Wes Morgan scored. The 10-men Leicester side beat Burnley 2-1. We don't seem to know how to win these games this season. Burnley are the teams where you think to yourself, they're definitely the games you can pick up the points, but Leicester fans this season have seen that isn't the case. It's worrying. I mean, if Burnley attack Leicester's defence tomorrow, then you're going to cause us all sorts of problems. Against Randers on Thursday, they had 23 shots against us. They couldn't finish their dinner. I think if that was Burnley on Thursday night, they would have battered us. If we turn up like that, how we did on Thursday night, then you guys could be in for some goals on tomorrow night at Turf Moor. Yeah. If we defend the way we do.
Fingers crossed from our point of view, mate. But let's talk about some of your injuries as well. We mentioned Maxwell. Is Vardy still out? How's Vardy doing?
Vardy's back.
Oh, fucking course he is. He loves a goal at the Turf. Honestly, he loves a goal. Having said that, I said the exact same thing about Harry Kane before the other game, and obviously he didn't score. Any other injuries I need to know about? Is Maddison back? I think he's just come back, hasn't he, Maddison? I'm not sure. Has he been injured for a bit?
No, Maddison's been playing every game.
Maybe he was off form or something then. I can't remember. He's another good player that we need to look out for.
I think Johnny Evans is still out. Castagna's had 2 operations with his shoulder and another one. So he'll be out for the next 3 weeks. Wesley Fofana back in training now after that horrific injury in pre-season. So he'll be back at some point. in the next coming weeks. So yeah, Vardy's fit. Vardy's ready to play. Ricardo, he'll be fit to play tomorrow night. So hopefully them two sort of players can cause you a lot of problems with their pace and the way they check the game to Burnley's defence tomorrow night.
Yeah, maybe. So what sort of game are you expecting then? Do you think it's going to be tight? Do you think it's going to be open, similar to like the one was at the King Power? What sort of game are you expecting?
It's going to be a very tough game. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we're going to batter Burnley or anything like that, because that would be overlooking you guys and underestimating you guys. Burnley's always a tough place to go in the Premier League for any team. I'm expecting a very difficult game, a scrappy game, fight till the finish. I'm hoping all players leave it on the pitch. I'm hoping our fortunes can turn around and actually get our first win in a while and our first clean sheet. But as a Leicester fan, I'm not confident of getting any clean sheet. We've only had 2 this season, so it tells you a lot about how we've been defending and how many goals we've been conceding over the course of the season. But Burnley will be a lot of threat to us. I'm just worried defensively for Leicester because we don't seem to know how to defend and we concede so many goals. So I don't think it'll be an open game. It'll be a very edgy game and it'll be a nail biter for sure to who's going to get them 3 points on Tuesday night.
How are you at defending set pieces? Just asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend? Or are you asking for yourself?
Yeah.
Not good. You can tell by my facial expression.
That's promising, yeah, because we scored a corner against Spurs. We should have scored 2 corners against Spurs, let's be honest. Ben Mee and J-Rod missed the same sitter from the same situation. So yeah, maybe we can get some joy on set pieces then. So just before we do wrap up and just before we go, what's your score prediction then for the game?
I'm going to go 2-1 to Leicester.
2-1 to Leicester. Fair enough. Got to back yourself. You know what? This will be the first time I've predicted a Burnley win on this podcast for a while. And the people in the comments probably going, hey, there he is, Mr. Positive's back. But you know what a few wins can do? I think this is a winnable game just because of your form. The fact that Jamie Vardy's back worries me. And I was going to go 2-0. But the fact that you said Jamie Vardy's back, I'm going to go 2-1. But to Burnley, I'm going to go it the other way around. Vardy loves a goal. He'll probably go 1-0 up as well, and he'll shush the Burnley fans like he does. He always gives the Burnley fans a bit of grief. So yeah, fingers crossed we can. All right, fingers crossed we can get a win anyway, like that prediction is. But we're just going to finish. We're just going to finish up. Do you want to say hello to everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, say hello. No, he's not going to say hello. But anyway, mate, just want to give everyone a shout where they can find your podcast and your content and where they can watch your stuff.
Follow us at Leicester Fan TV. Find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, wherever you can find us at Leicester Fan TV. Go and drop us a follow. Go and subscribe to the channel. We're a bunch of lads who love our football club, who love a good debate, and we all love talking Leicester City Football Club. I guess every team can be hypocritical, but every fan can. We're not all honest at the end of the day. We're all hypocrites. But it's football. We love everyone who has an opinion. Everyone has different opinions. But yeah, we're an opinion-based fan channel where we all won't agree on the same thing. But who does it at the end of the day? It'd be boring if you didn't. So yeah, go and check us out, Leicester Fan TV. We're a Leicester City-based channel who loves our football club and wants the best for our football club. And hopefully tomorrow we can go out and win against Burnley.
Yeah, well, do go and check them out, guys. If you're watching this after they've won the game that Jack said they just might do, then you might just not want to watch it at that point. But yeah, definitely go and check them out. I've been subscribed to their channel for quite a while, so I can vouch it's a very, very good channel. But yeah, Jack, thanks very much for coming on the show. And hopefully, I'll speak to you next season.
Yes, hopefully.